What is up, everybody? It is Mac Dubs, the host of the First and Last Hit Show on the Block 105 Radio and SoCal Radio. I am alone tonight, but I'm not alone. We've got Robert Wilson back with us again to hang out with me tonight because AJ wanted to leave me for some stupid road trip. Let's bring our good friend Robert on.
Well, good evening. How are you?
How are you?
Really excellent. Really excellent, Mac.
How's your week been?
You know, I wrote something today that it's called I Rose Out of Arguing by Listening. But I discovered I don't argue with people. I argue with my limitations, thinking I'm arguing with them.
I need to tell my dad that one. Stop arguing with people.
But it was really, when you open up to it, it's quite liberating. So how you been?
Oh, I've been a chip off the old block lately.
We all are.
It's been a couple of exciting 2 weeks here. My football team made it to the playoffs, and then we lost in the semifinals.
No.
But we made it further than we did last spring. So last spring we went 2-8, and this time we went 8-2. So we turned it around a lot.
Yes. Well,
we just yeah. Better luck next time. You know what they say. They say fall down, get back up, fall down again. If you don't get back up, that's just shame on you.
That's when you fail. Well, look at the Bulls before they won all their championships. They lost. Every winner's lost.
Yeah.
Some winner lost.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't really say that we've done horrible. I mean, because this would make my 8th season. So out of 8 seasons, I've won 3 district championships. So I mean, it's been a fun ride, and I can't wait to see where my fall team takes us to. I mean, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, sounds like it. You say you had a fall team?
I have a fall team. I have a fall team, and I have a spring team. We just got done with spring 2 weeks ago, and here in August we'll start back up and go at it again.
I don't want to say anything rude or obnoxious, but fall's around the corner.
I can't believe it. We're here already in what? I think
Middle of June.
I think the 21st is really the start of summer, they say, but I don't believe that. I believe when it gets 90 something degrees outside, yep, that's summer.
I agree. And the 21st, when the sun starts going down, the days start getting shorter.
Yeah, and then at like 4:30 in the morning, the sun starts coming out. I'm like, good gracious.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, AJ's not here with us tonight. He is on his way to Philadelphia, and then on Sunday, I'm going to be meeting up with AJ and where the heck are we going? New Jersey.
So how far do you guys live from Philly?
I live about 8 hours from Philly. He lives about 3.5, I believe. I can't remember. I think he's AJ, if you're listening, bud, chime in. And I think I'm like 6.5 hours from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Well, Atlantic City, we are. Maybe I was wrong. About 7.5, 8 hours. But yeah. So, what new in store do you have for us with your any new classes the people need to know about?
There's a lot of them. There's about 6 of them or
Oh,
5 of
really?
them.
5.
But the one that I like, what I like them all, but the one I started, the one it is 7 ways why I'm inspired, alive inside, and you feel it right in here. And when you open up to this, you learn positive thinking and motivation are all external, and they don't really go anywhere. When you feel them in your head and around here. But when you say inspired, alive inside, you feel it right down the line of the chakras. And now I got another class coming out. 7 ways why think and know block the flow.
That's a good one.
It is, but something I've discovered, and it took me a long time to really understand it, is as soon as you say the words think and know, you go into memory and you go backwards because it's all a mini movie within yourself, and it's something that happened in the external world.
Yeah.
And it was taught by somebody else. That's the biggest one.
This is what I was taught. What a memory is. It's basically a little flip book. That's what I was taught. What memory is it?
But we've been taught to remember the challenges rather than the outcome. And the unsavory part of life, because nobody reminds you of what you did good. They all remind you of what they think you did wrong, which is just bullshit. Because nobody's done anything wrong. We just never got the wisdom of the situation. And when you see something wrong, that means there's fresh wisdom for you somewhere else, and there's a better way for you to do whatever that was.
Man, I need to tell that to a couple of people.
Well, I had to tell it to hard-headed me, so that's something I've really opened up to. I'm a hard-headed, stubborn, selfish person sometimes, just who I am. But by admitting that, I get to go get rid of it. Yeah. Admit things to get rid of it.
You give to get, and you get to give.
Yeah, and something else is you got to appreciate your life.
Yeah.
You don't have to love it, but if we open up to appreciate it, you start getting the value of it. And everybody, you think somebody did something wrong to you. Well, they did it wrong to our thinking mind, but internally, it's a life-expanding experience. And a lot of times you allowed that to happen. I know I did. Because a lot of times you didn't want to hurt that other person's feelings, so you got hurt because you thought you was tougher.
Well, sometimes it's better to learn and get hurt than get hurt even worse by not knowing.
Yeah, and see, the thing is, something I've really expanded into, Mac, is we've been taught to be followers. We've always been taught in the school system to follow. Well, that kid's smarter, so follow him, right?
Right.
And really, they're only smarter, but they're never wiser. And that's something I really opened up to. And
I was just asking for help with that one. I have
when you open up to listening,
take the rest out.
that'll take you. And something else I really expanded into was genuine kind, listen and question. Be genuine kind to yourself to listen and question your way through life, because you're never going to think and know your way through chaos or challenges. Because the outside, whatever this is up here, you can call it God, universe,
Right.
they have a way of making you understand you think and know zero. And you're going to listen. You're going to listen to the inaudible and the unseen to expand through everything.
Yeah.
And you can't think and know and listen at the same time.
Well, if you listen too much, then you know too much. And if you know too much, then you won't be able to know more because you're not listening less.
See, that's the thing. You listen to express the images of your inspiration. And that's something I really expanded into, Mac. If you want to express the images of your inspiration, then you never get caught in that overthinking mind.
But what if what if it's more of inspiration and less knowledge? Is it still the same thing?
No, because when you go there, you go to wisdom and get rid of the knowledge. Knowledge is in a book. Wisdom's in the experiences.
I've got a question for you. Does knowledge overpower wisdom, or does wisdom overpower knowledge?
Knowledge is in the books.
Yeah.
Wisdom is from the experiences. So it's kind of together, but the wisdom will overpower knowledge, because wisdom is the fruits of the experience. Knowledge is in a book. And if you look at the world, this is my favorite thing. Well, not one of them, but look at people leaving St. Louis in the 1800s, coming across the Rocky Mountains and all the mountain passes. If they used knowledge, they'd never get across them there. But being they had the wisdom and ingenuity, they could, whatever it had to, block and tackle the wagons down. But knowledge would have never let them do it, because knowledge is the infancy of wisdom.
You don't. What I've learned is you don't gotta be book smart to have knowledge.
Well, we both worked out. I was a union electrician. It was always the old guys with the knowledge, the wisdom that made it easy. With us young guys with all the knowledge that screwed everything up.
So you're saying all the old heads?
Yes.
You're saying all the old heads had the light bulb, and every time us young cats would come in there, the light bulb wouldn't turn on for us.
Or else something fell on us. That's something this world has let retire, is the experience without us getting the wisdom. I know they did it in the union and the electrical trade.
Right.
All the old people retired, and at the end, as soon as somebody a fifth-year apprentice turned out to be a journeyman, they made them foreman. That way they could train them to do what they wanted. And I'll just be honest with you, Matt. What we used to do with 150 electricians takes 300 today. Because we let the knowledge go. We got so computerized, we never used the knowledge, the wisdom of the people.
Yeah, that's.
But you can see that all the way through. And also, as I was talking earlier, When the country was young, a handshake was a contract. Now it takes 3 armies of lawyers to do a contract.
Oh, it takes. Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, just to write one up, just to write on one piece of paper, it takes about 10 people just to write
Yeah.
a sentence on there.
And another thing this world has forgotten, people that work with their hands and do the physical labor, they're going to make mistakes. They're going to have injuries. They're going to just have that kind of stuff. People with a computer, an eraser, and a backup backspace on their computers, they never make a mistake because they can erase them. In the physical world, what you see is what you got. And they always, I cut my hand right here one time, got 6 stitches. That was a 10-hour safety meeting. And I was just looking at them, and they kept asking the same silly questions. They asked, well, why did it happen? Well, I did this, this, and this.
Yeah.
All that happened is I had my hand below the knife, and they act like they didn't happen. So I asked them if they hit the backspace on their computer, and they said, yeah, you just cut your hand. They didn't like that. and see, that's the thing. We act like we got the virtual world controlling the physical world. Everything is perfect and flows smooth. Well, in our life gets in the way of life to show you the way to experience a better way to experience your life through wisdom and ingenuity. But a computer, you wait till about 2 years. To me, now this is my own personal opinion, Mac. This AI is going to take the innovation away from people.
I believe so too. I agree 100% with you. I believe that it writes reports for you. It'll write a book for you. It'll do anything for you now.
And the thing is, for me, when that information goes out and comes back, that's somebody else's wanting us to control something. And that's something that I really have opened up to, because I watched what spell check did to me, Mac. I used to be a decent speller, but if it's over 4 letters, that's a trip through the swamp. And something else, this is something I really like your feedback on. If you take all the technology, you take all the technology, the medicine out of the world.
Right.
It's really different between now and the beginning of time, except for the modernization of things.
That's a good question. That's one. Yeah. I think
There isn't any.
Yeah. I think there's some chance that we learn anything, honestly.
Yeah, Mac, business and education taking this country as far as it can. If you look at the country, to me, it's going this way. It's going sideways and down.
Well, this is a play that I drew up, and this is how I think the world's going, just like this, going up and down, up and down. And then sooner or later, it's going to go like this.
I think it's sooner than later. I think you're right on the money there, Mac. Hey, but you know what the greatest asset in the world, and people will never admit it? Greatest asset in the world, and nobody will admit what that asset is?
What's that?
People's innovative talents that we've never, ever opened up to. People are the assets of the world. Today's business is how much they can get the taxpayer to support them.
No, I agree.
Yeah, this is my favorite joke, Mac. If there was a politician, a CEO, a college graduate and a blue collar worker, and there was a float there with the keys in it. Who's going to drive the float away?
Who?
The blue collar guy, because the CEO is going to be bribing the politician. The politician is going to be writing down his offshore account, and that young guy, he's going to be trying to learn how to do all this. The blue collar guy is just going to get in and drive it away because they don't have to have it explained to him.
Instead of that being a joke, let that be a life lesson.
But it's really kind of true.
Yeah.
To me, it's funny, but a lot of people don't like it. But, I've been playing around in this marketing, self-help, personal growth world. And, if it isn't inside what they got in their schools and inside their school knowledge, they don't comprehend it. Because a friend of mine keeps saying, you got to explain your stuff more. And I look at him and says, if I'm a podunk electrician, no education, and I understand it and I understand this, why do I have to explain it to people? Well, he says, because. I said, okay, that's because the college knowledge and medicated education has them stuck in a box. It's like peace in the world, Mac. If they took the grown-ups out and let the kids play, we'd have peace.
Yeah. I mean, what if they just let us be our inner child and let us play too? I mean, I think it'd be.
I feel that's the wisest thing anybody's ever said, Mac. That's the thing. Three things, the two most scary, what scares people more than anything? Well, three of them. Relaxation and inspiration and having fun. Because they feel guilty.
Well, I don't know. I don't know why you would feel guilty about having fun, but
if you listen, I'm talking about you listen to what they say. It's all about being busy and productive. Me, I'm about leisure, lazy, and having fun. And see, Mac, is where people really break down, is having fun and relaxing. What do they say at work to you, Mac? Are you busy and productive? They all say, I'm being busy and productive today. All you are is winding yourself into being a panic fanatic, because you're always worried about what you're doing. And Mac, if people would open up to facilitate and participate in their day, they'd expand through life.
I was working at a place once. It was a delivery. We delivered like sodas and like chips and coffee and water and stuff like that. The thing was, like, the second week I was getting trained, and we were finishing up, and I was taking the hand truck and I was folding it up, and it's just hit me. It's just hit me when you were just talking about the keyboard and the keyboard and the people who work
the
with
backspace button.
Yep. So I was putting the hand truck up. I had folded it up, and I was putting it on the truck. And where I had my hand at was where it folded. And once I put it on the truck, it collapsed on my thumb and tore my thumb from like right here all the way down. And now that I think about it, took me so long to get my backspace finger back.
Can I ask you a question when that happened?
Yeah.
You looked around. Did you look around to see who saw you before you did anything else?
The person who trained me was standing right there.
Oh,
I couldn't say anything. He couldn't say anything because all you could see is my whole thumb was all covered in blood. And I was in
usually when something like that happens, Mac, you look around to see who saw you.
well,
Then you worry about the pain.
yeah. Well, somebody saw us inside, and they were worried about more of me not bleeding on their concrete.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, well, the rain's gonna wash it away. So I mean,
Yeah, that makes sense to me. You're getting that on my concrete.
it's just like earlier today. I was doing a customer, and I work for a junk removal
A what?
company, a junk removal company.
Oh, yeah.
And during the day, and was doing a customer, and we were downstairs in his basement, and he had a hardwood floor basement.
Oh,
And he wanted us to move a couple of things out, and I was like, all right, no problem. And then he just stood there and he was like, watch my floor. I think we got it the first time. You know?
yeah, that makes sense. I can actually, Mac. I can vision that.
Yeah.
You know, this was funny. I was driving an oil field truck in Wyoming, and the guy had the oil field trucks were $150,000 in the late 70s, early 80s, and this guy had a John Deere lawnmower. And he says, "I want somebody to go mow my lawn." So this guy gets out and says, "Okay, I'll go mow your lawn." The owner walks over to him and says, "I don't care what you do to that $150,000 truck. If you tear up my $5,000 John Deere lawnmower, I'm going to fire you." And he would have. That's just the way Eddie Young was. But, you know, the thing is, the world is stuck in education. To me.
Well, being stuck in education, couldn't that be a good thing?
Well, there's no common sense in it. I mean, you look at the world, we're stuck in the same place we were. To me, I was born in 1958. We're stuck in the same place. Outside of technology and the medical. But, you know, on the surface, we still have everything going. And what I'm saying is people got to rise to their own talents.
Yeah, there is a quote about that, and I will read that quote once I find it. But that's technology. I used to know it off the top of my head because I used to say it a lot. But you know, us getting older and older. I mean,
we have less stuff that's important. It ain't that we're getting older, Mac. We just have less stuff. We're just less stuff is important to us today.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Go get something to drink, popcorn, chips, whatever you want to do, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back to the First and Last Hit Show on the Blog 105 Radio and SoCal Radio. I'm Mac Dubs, and I have fired AJ tonight, and we've got our new host from now on, the Cowboy Robert Wilson.
Didn't take long to send this show downhill, did it?
Oh, yep. Well, I appreciate you coming on and helping me out tonight.
Well, it's fun coming on here because we have a conversation instead of we're not telling people what to do. We're showing people a better way.
Yeah. So here's that quote for you. It's hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. There you go.
Yeah. That's true.
I didn't work hard trying to find it. You know, and this thing about we were talking about earlier was AI. And, you know, I think for some things, I think AI is okay to use. But I was watching a video on YouTube today during lunch, and it was a kid at school. He used AI to write his book report, and funny thing was another kid did the same thing, and it was the same AI app that they were using, and they both turned in the same book report.
You know, I hate to say them kids. I'd have done the same thing as them kids did. I'd abused AI, especially in math. Man, you know when you had them like five numbers across and 4 numbers below, I'd been just easy to whip it out on AI.
Yeah.
But I know them kids got in trouble, but I'd have done the same thing at their age.
I mean, if I was still in school, I would have probably done the same thing as well.
You know, like I was telling people, if kids today did what we did as kids, they'd be in jail.
You think so?
Well, I mean, not so much jail, but they'd have been in trouble because it wasn't politically correct.
Yeah, I can see your point.
We was in a small town on a farm where everybody knew everybody. And you could kind of get by with some stuff. Not breaking laws and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't have the pressure on us some kids did today. Because if we screwed up, you had 3 things: pick rock, clean hog barns, or fix fence. You always had that was I think getting a spanking was better than fixing fence and cleaning a hog barn.
Well, here's my thing on that. With my grandmas, it was you get in trouble, you get to pick 3 things. You get to pick out of the 3 things: paddle, belt, or go outside and pick your own switch. And if you chose to go outside and pick your own switch and you get a flimsy one, they make you go out and get one. And
I don't know. The belt or the paddle's way better than them switches.
Yeah. Hold on, AJ. What was this? AJ says, everybody knows everybody. Everybody calls your friend. You don't need an invitation. Kick off your shoes and come on in. Okay. Yeah, that is true. And that is a country song. That is the lyrics from a country song.
You know, my parents, when they lived in White Lake, South Dakota, they lived there forever, they never locked their house. I always called it the mystery house because you never knew who was going to be on the couch. You know, when we went home, when I was in Wyoming and we'd go home for Thanksgiving, all the bachelors and single people were at our house for Thanksgiving. our Christmas dinner. It's just the way it was.
Yeah. I
Then-
remember.
Then the pitch games would start. I was right next to World War II there.
Oh God.
Not neatly, but I'll tell you what, it was fun. It was funny too, because you'd always try to get somebody, and always wanted to set them, and it was fun, but it was clean fun.
Yeah.
Not that I ain't saying the verbiage was clean, but it was clean fun.
When I was younger, I used to go stay with my mom's mom. We called her Nana. And one morning, I was eating breakfast, and she said, "All right, time to go play outside." So I was like, "Well, I ain't got my clothes on yet," and I was just in my underwear, and she goes, "Hey, can you go grab this off the porch?" So I walk out there, and I was like, "What do you want me to grab?" She locks me out there, and she goes, "Go play." I'm like, "I'm in my underwear." Oh,
Sorry, man.
man.
That was funny.
No, that was funny. My
Oh, and I
grandma
bet
had-
she couldn't wait to tell your mom and everybody.
Oh yeah, because what I did when I went to go play. Oh yeah. So it had just rained, and she has like a ditch where where the water will stay, and it'd be all muddy and stuff. So from the time I was out there to the time she let me back in my underwear, I would just go jump in that mud puddle and roll around, and she wouldn't let me come in and take a bath.
Sounds like
She
a
made-
good girl.
She made me walk over because my uncle and my grandma lived in the same yard. She made me walk over to my uncle's house, and he had to hose me down.
That's funny to me, because it's just what it is.
They lived in an older house. I think this house was like from like the 1940s or 1950s. My mom could tell it better, but they used their furnace. They would use coal, and so ever so often have to run out and get coal from the coal field. And one day my cousin took me with him, and I think I was about maybe 10, 11. And my grandma said, "Don't get too," she's like, "have some fun, but don't get too dirty." So we go. They load us up, and then we come back, and we're putting the coal in the coal house with the shovel. And so my cousin's like, "Hey, come here. I want to show you something."
Uh-oh.
And so he pushes me in the coal house and locks the door.
What a nice guy.
And I fell down, and I fell backwards, and I fell in the coal, and I walked back to my grandma's house, and she goes, "Well, don't you look nice and clean today?" I'm like, "Well, I tried.
Yeah. That's back then, though. We were just mischievous to each other.
Back then, my cousins and I, we would all get together at my grandma's house, or we'd go out. My family has a church right down the road from where they used to live, and we'd go out to the church and we'd play softball, or football. And I had a cousin named Rebecca, and she was a tomboy, and every time she wasn't on my team, I'd throw a fit because she hit harder than the boys. And I learned that the hard way because we were playing football on the field, and her and my cousin clotheslined me and my other cousin, and I thought she gave me a concussion because I was seeing stars.
I could see that. Some of them country girls, they get pretty. I don't think they get as mean as the WNBA, but they get pretty mean.
I mean, the WNBA is not what it used to be. The NBA is not what it used to be. It's not. To me, it's not fun to watch anymore.
I don't watch it because it used to be it was semi-football in the lane when Bird, and Magic, and McHale, and Worthy, and MJ, and the Pistons. When you went in that lane, you were going to pay.
Oh yeah, and they didn't call that many fouls back in the day. Some players got elbowed.
Yeah,
I mean,
they got really elbowed. Did you see where J.J. Redick said that the NBA today was tougher than the NBA back in the 80s?
I'm a big fan of J.J. Redick, and wow, for him to say that is kind of stupid.
The thing about it is he was just on TV, and I think it probably was supposed to come out different, but it didn't. But anyway, yeah, because I used to I like JJ. We all say stuff that we ain't supposed to, so I don't make much fun of it no more.
Yeah.
You have something you want to say, but it comes out completely different than you're supposed to. And as long as nobody's bleeding or dying, is it a very big thing? No.
No. Yeah, you're right. I mean,
And
it's just like with football. I love football. I love watching football. But I say the same thing, Back then, I think football was a lot tougher. I mean, look at what they played in. They barely played in anything. Maybe some rubber shoulder pads and a helmet.
Well, I'll tell you what, when Butkus and Nitschke and that whole bunch in the late 60s, early 70s,
yeah,
that was some tough football.
Yeah, Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah. Oh, Mean Joe Green and
Yep.
God, there's so many of them I can't name them. Larry Zonka.
Yeah, Broadway Joe.
Broadway Joe.
Broadway Joe is the only one that ever won the Super Bowl with the Jets, and I'm still hoping and praying we get one before I leave this.
The thing about the Jets that I've noticed, Mac, is they can have everything going perfect, but about 6 weeks before a season, here comes the drama.
Oh yeah. And they started their own football. Then they started their own TV show, which kind of made me mad. I'm like, why?
Yeah. And, I love Aaron Rodgers, but I think he does this just to just torment people.
He got me. I bought in. Let's just say, what is it? I bought into the hype. I really did. I bought into the hype as a Jets fan. I bought into the hype, bringing in Aaron Rodgers. I thought, man, we got a quarterback now. And in the first game, it's just like this piece of paper, It was like that, and then there goes his ankle.
Achilles, yeah.
First game.
The thing I do like about the Jets is Quinyon Williams, that
Oh yeah,
defensive tackle.
yep. Quinnen Williams. I think he is the best defensive lineman in the NFL. I know there's a lot. I know there's a lot of them.
I like why, last year in that first game, the Bills had that rookie guard.
Yeah. Yep.
Them two had a battle.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. They
And it was fun to watch, but they did have a battle.
close games. Close games is what I like to see. I don't like to see blowouts.
Yeah, but the thing about, I'm going to ask you this. To me, they've lost the perspective of team football. It's quarterback against quarterback.
Yep.
And I don't like that.
No, and I think what they've done now is who's got the best quarterback. I'm not a big fan of all these new quarterbacks. No, I like Patrick Mahomes, and I like Lamar Jackson, and what's his name? The quarterback for the Bills, Josh Allen. I love Josh Allen. Great quarterback. I loved watching him back when he played in college.
Yeah, and the thing about, to me, is they just paid Trevor Lawrence $275 million. And and the thing what's ironic about that, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes are 10 and 11.
Yeah.
But I like to watch Patrick and Josh play because that's coming down to the final plays.
Oh yeah. Past couple of playoffs, man, they've been.
And
but I want the Bills win one.
Yeah, I would too, because the defense is, when they went into Kansas City, come into the Bills, they was getting people out of the stands to play defense. Just about. Yeah. I mean, but I love Patrick Mahomes. But one thing people ain't talking enough about the Chiefs is that offensive line. Them three in the middle, them two guards in the center. You could take them and go into war, and they push a tank back.
Yeah.
And then that defensive line, to me, the trenches don't get enough credit in football.
No, you're right.
I love the offensive defensive line.
You see more of the offense and defense. If you look at, and after games, if you would just look at their hands and knuckles, a lot of their hands and knuckles are bleeding because they're fighting. They're fighting to protect everyone. If there wasn't, you're right. If there wasn't an offense and defensive line, I think there would be no football.
Well, it's like back when I used to like it when Nitsky and Butkus and them played. Now that was tackle football.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of them, but there's one thing a lot of people don't understand, Mac, about Dick Butkus. He could defend the pass. He had a lot of interceptions. I don't know what. I think he had 47, but I'm not quoting me on that. But Dick Butkus could actually cover the pass.
Yeah. Over the years, I liked. I used to hop around. I wasn't really a team person. Over the years when I was a kid, I was more of a quarterback guy. Yeah. I liked the John Elway. I think my favorite all-time quarterback is Brett Favre. Love Brett Favre.
Love Brett. I've gotten so as long as they don't get hurt, they're all my favorite. I just don't want to see them get hurt.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's like Joey Burrow this year. Nobody knows what his wrist is going to do.
Yeah. They don't know how, they don't know how healthy he's gonna be.
Yeah,
Uh,
and
it's just
that's what I like about Josh Allen. He's played 100 games.
yeah. I don't think I've seen him. Knock on wood. I don't think I've seen him gotten injured.
Well, he played with an elbow and a shoulder, but he ain't smart enough to know when he's hurt.
You know what? I don't think none of them are. I mean,
I agree.
I've seen Patrick Mahomes, and this is what I love, about the sport. It's the die and will that even if they're hurt, they want to keep pushing to have their team succeed. Um,
You
I
know,
think
excuse me,
no. Go ahead.
them defense and offensive linemen, they're sore at the end of 17 games.
I think they're sore after one game.
That's what I mean, but I think they just get numb to the pain.
Oh
But
yeah, I think their hands start out, their normal color, whatever nationality you are. But I think at the end of each season, no matter what nationality you are, your hands turn purple.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I don't think they can point straight ahead either.
No,
Their fingers go. They got like all their fingers are like veer off this way. Did you ever see Larry Bird's fingers?
I have not. I need to. Now you're making me want to see Larry Bird's fingers.
Yeah, his go several different directions.
But he can still shoot a basketball.
I like watching him and Magic together. When they do public appearances,
Yeah.
because it's kind of funny.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they're pretty funny together.
Well,
I wish they would have played on the same team back in the day. I think they would have made a good team.
well, I don't. That'd been the best team in basketball because. But the thing about it is, them two saved basketball. Charles Barkley said that. Barkley's a lot different being an announcer than he was when he played. He's got a sense of humor.
I agree.
I like it when he gives Shaq a bad.
Yeah, I like watching him give Shaq a bad time.
Yeah. Then old Kenny Smith, he throws the little daggers in there, irritate them both.
I remember, I forget which one it was, but one of them switched one of them's water bottle and poured tequila in their water bottle. I forget which one it was, but I think it was Shaq. I think Shaq switched Charles Barkley's water bottle and put tequila in his water bottle, and Charles Barkley just went and just took not even a sip. Charles Barkley was like this, and all I could see was like everything. He just spit everything out. He's like, "What the hell kind of water is this?"
Oh, yeah. Them two make that show. Them three. Kenny Smith is a good too, because they just even Ernie, he does good. He knows how to make it. He knows how to kind of promote all three of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started watching what's his name, Mad Dog Russo. He's a sports anchor.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, he's the only one that makes some sense out of all of them.
Well, I know. I mean, to me, Stephen A. Smith, it's just something about the guy. I used to like him, but he's brought nationality into a lot of things that you know. It's basketball. Let's
Uh,
talk about basketball.
he got into a lot of arrogance.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and Nick Wright's another one I can't stand.
Yep, Nick
But
Wright. Yeah, I don't.
I'm starting to understand though, Nick, he plays to get the click and to get the publicity. He knows how to play it. He owes Josh Allen and the Bills a bunch of money because for the last 2 years, that's all he talked about.
Yeah, and I think, and now that the Lakers are looking for a new coach, I thought they hired JJ Redick.
I don't know. I haven't heard, but I know they're interested.
Yeah, I could have swore I saw where JJ Redick was.
I know they was looking at him.
I honestly think he'd be a good fit, but with
I think
that,
he would do good.
yeah,
I think Redick would do.
I think he would be better somewhere else and not with the Lakers.
Well, if I was JJ, I'd rather be somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, I, I don't know if I could take on that responsibility uh,
I don't
and
know.
coach the Lakers.
To me, the last few teams they've had, they've lost the Laker mystique. They're going to have to work to get that mystique back.
Yeah, they're saying that LeBron and Anthony Davis are the new Kobe and Shaq. No, they're not. Sorry to say that.
No, they're LeBron and Kobe. And Kobe was, you know, when you first got to meet him, he was kind of, you thought something. But after you got to know him, he was quite very personable. He did a lot with kids.
Hey, dude. There was after his after him passing away in the incident, I came across a video that kind of startled me a little bit. But and I guess in his sense of terms, it made sense to him. Uh, somebody was asking Kobe that when do you think your legacy will be fulfilled? He said, "Well, I don't think my legacy will be fulfilled until I'm dead and gone." And he's like, you know, and by then I don't think nobody will remember my legacy. He said, I I believe I need to go early for people to remember me. Well, Kobe, it's been almost 10 years and people still remember you.
Oh, you know, him and Jordan, they have an aura about them.
Yeah.
And the thing about I like about Kobe is he was just a tough person. He had a heart and a
Yeah.
shitty grin. He always had that mischievous grin hiding in there.
You know one thing about Kobe, I like it wasn't his cockiness, and I like this cockiness. And what about his cockiness I liked was It wasn't like him being like cocky. It was him being like joking around. And he would be at like the free throw, and he would close his eyes, and he would say to like one of the other players on another team, "How much you want to bet I can make these free throws with my eyes closed?"
Oh, I never heard that one.
And he'd sit there and he'd do it. And there was one time where Kobe was, I think he was taking the ball out of bounds, and there was another player, and I forget his name, but I think he was mad and he was talking trash to Kobe, and the guy just like picked up the ball and he was like act like he was throwing the ball at Kobe. Kobe just stood there and never flinched. He goes, "Okay, can I have the ball now? Are you done?" He was like, "Are you done? Can I have the ball back? Thank you."
Yeah. Who was talking about LeBron and AD playing Kobe and Shaq on 2-on-2?
Oh yeah.
And he was talking. LeBron was the better, and Shaq asked him, "Where's Kobe?" He says he's not that good. I thought Shaq was going to go across that table and throttle him.
I mean,
You know, it's hard to say who's better until they play one-on-one or get in the game.
I would have liked to seen. I would have liked to seen Kobe play 1-on-1 with a lot of people.
Well, he may have lost, but he had won more than he lost, way more.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think before we wrap it up, I think Michael Jordan is probably the worst team owner
And
ever
best
to
player.
exist. Best player in the NBA, worst team owner.
They usually are, you know what?
Yeah. I
And
think,
you know
but I do think Steve Kerr, he was a good player. He's a great coach. I mean, look, he's won championships with the Bulls. Now, I think he's won like three championships with the Warriors.
Yeah. You know, if oh God, who was that left for the? That was with them when they had that real good team. He went to the Lakers and now he's playing for the Suns. Oh my God, I can see his. If he'd have stayed with the Warriors, they'd have won more championships.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah, if he'd have stayed there, but he
I
wanted
think
to
so.
Huh?
I think so. I totally agree.
Well, but he has to. They was given the praise to Curry, right? And he wanted the praise.
Yeah. Yep.
Durant
Yep.
did. And you know,
Yeah.
sometimes if they just win the championships, everything else will take care of it where it's at.
Yeah. I totally agree.
But you know, Draymond Green is a good player, but he's playing in this era and not in the 80s or the 60s because he would have got educated. You know, like the way he likes to. Especially that guy used to play for Portland.
Oh yeah. I know exactly who you're talking about. I can't think of his name. But yes, I know exactly who you're talking about.
He had to give old Green a little. He wouldn't have been so cocky at the end of the game.
Yeah. Going up against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he would have knocked him on his butt too.
you know, Kareem always had that that grin. No matter what was going on, he had that grin.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He was.
And well, Kurt Rambis would have helped him too.
oh, yeah, Kurt Rambis. Yeah.
And but that forward for the Blazers, him and Draymond would have got into it.
Yep, and he would have, and Draymond would have learned a lesson quickly.
Yeah, because he was an enforcer. But Oakley and all them guys, that was when you played in this, when Oakley and all the
Mhm.
bad boy Pistons, and when you played in the lane there, you
Yeah,
were
that
gonna
was
come out there with some elbows.
everyone was fans of everyone was fans of the Bulls back then at that time. But man, I was a fan of the bad boys back in the day. Oh
Yeah,
man, I love
like
the Pistons.
I like the Pistons. I don't dislike very many teams, except for what Jerry Jones did to Tom Landry with the ring.
Mm, yeah,
Given that was distasteful. Given that,
yeah, that was he was I think one thing, Jerry Jones is not a good owner neither.
well, he drafts good players, but he don't draft winning players. You know what
No,
I'm saying?
Tony Romo stuck doing beer commercials, and Dak Prescott is going to the Dallas Mavericks game, making them lose every game. So that's the reason why the Dallas Mavericks are losing, because Dak Prescott is sitting in the stand at every home game.
I like Dak as a person, but
I do
there's
too.
there's just something not there. You know what I'm saying? He's lacking something somewhere.
Yeah. It's just like I respect LeBron as a person, but as a player, nah.
I like him as a player, as a person, but there's something about him playing just isn't right.
Yeah. I think a lot of these people trying to play this new school ball, and I think a lot of the coaches are trying to go back to the old school ways, and it's just not mixing.
Well, you come across 3-point line shooting, either you make it or you don't.
Well, back
There's
then,
no skill in basketball no more.
yeah. Well, back then, and God rest his soul. One of my favorite legends of all time, Jerry West,
Oh,
was one of my favorite players. I never watched any of his games, but
well,
just
the Lakers and the Celtics. That's when they had their big battles.
oh yeah, I remember those. Watching those a lot.
To me, Bill Russell's the best player to ever play basketball. He won 11 championships.
Yeah,
I ain't
I
saying
think
he's
so,
better
too.
than him, but I'll tell you one thing: a lot of these guys that come in for these layups, he'd have rejected them all.
that is one true fact, my friend.
Him and Wilt had some hellacious games.
Oh yeah, loved Wilt too. Dr. J, loved them all, man. They were all these great players. There's
Well,
Muggsy Bogues was like five,
oh, Muggsy. I like him.
5 foot tall, man. I mean, sheesh.
And what about the guy that played for Atlanta that could dunk the ball?
Oh, was it Clyde Drexler?
No. He's a short guy.
Oh, Sprewell.
No, it was God, what was his name? But he's a guard. But he could dunk the ball. He won a dunk contest, I believe. 5'7".
Oh, yeah. Oh man, what's his name? I know exactly who you're talking about.
I can see his face. And I'll remember as soon as this show's over. But
Oh man. Yeah, so many players, so many.
because they have them, he was on when they was talking about the game when Larry Bird scored 60 points on him.
Oh wait, was it
Spud
Dominic?
Webb.
Was it Spud Webb or
Yeah,
was
he
it
was
Dominic
a short guy.
Wilkins?
Dominique Wilkins played Bird. He was loved Dominique. Wish he
Dominic was
could
a
have
good
won
player.
a championship. But no, Spud Webb, he is a 5'7" guard and can dunk the basketball.
Yeah. Yeah. It was so great. All these players were so great.
And you know, every era has got their players, but me, I like the older guys because they had to play basketball. They got their ribs beat up with elbows.
Yeah.
Now you breathe on them and they get a foul.
Yep. Or it's like, oh wait, poke. You know.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Well, Robert, I appreciate you coming on with me tonight and filling in for AJ, and had fun, just like we always do.
Oh, I love these conversations. You know, that's the thing. People get on and get too serious about life.
Yeah.
Have you listened to any of the books?
Actually, just downloaded one of them. I'm going to listen to it on the way to New Jersey.
What the thing about the books are, sometimes you can sit and listen to them, but what they're really for is when you're having a bad day, you can turn it on to any chapter and you'll rise out of it.
That was one to think about there. I could have used that today.
You know, that's one thing about life. It gets in the way of us. Life gets in the way of life to see whether we're going to fall prey to the dismay or we're going to rise and shine.
Sometimes you got to punch life in the face itself and like move out the way, life. I got to live my life, you know.
Sometimes, you know, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mac, thank you. I enjoyed this.
Oh yeah.
We conversation.
Yeah, always enjoy having you on. Everybody appreciates you when you come on, and also want to say thanks for being a sponsor for us. It really helps us out.
I got to be honest with you. I just sent the payment today.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot how I had to pay you. It was Cash App, and I didn't. I thought you're the only person I pay with Cash App.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah. Well,
but
I like to see, you know, the world is going to expand by people showing their wisdom and talents. And your show has country grounding wisdom to it.
appreciate it.
Anyway, Mac, you enjoy your evening.
You do the same. I gotta go finish washing clothes and getting ready to pack for New Jersey. So,
You and the family going?
yeah.
Good.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to meet AJ down there. So it's going to be a good time.
All righty. Enjoy your night, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, we'll stay in touch, and everyone, thanks for watching. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see y'all later.
All right. Good night.
All right, good night. And